The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of Power Trading Hour with me, your lovable host. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the world, as long as I'm here and you're here at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, I got to say that I was looking for some level of consolidation. And generally, that's how you build a healthy market, not just going straight back up again. But, well, what can you say? Everybody is got the pedal to the metal. The downside is when you look at some of the volumes in the markets, looking at the QQQs, and we got, 35 million shares so far. Let's take a quick look. Doesn't look all that exciting to me. Now the question is this enough anyway? i.e., we're into Christmas and it's just going to drag up to the highs yet again on lighter volume. This time probably on infinitesimally lighter volume. But we'll see by the end of the day whether everybody jumps in. But it just seems like the breadth really hasn't picked up the way it should have. It's still rather, a lot of stocks still way off their lows, especially a lot of the stocks that had hit highs already, kind of blow off highs, actually coming back. And I had some people ask what the setup here is potentially for double repo patterns. And like I said, this is now exactly what you're looking for. And maybe these things don't complete until right after the first of the year, or maybe they complete in the next few days. But once these get back over the 3x3 or a 9-day moving average, whichever one you use, you want to be looking very closely at any close back below. We've had our first sell-off of significance on these uptrends. I'm looking at AMD here on the screen. But you know what? So far, just a drop in a hurricane of rain. You haven't done any major damage. You've come back to high volume. You did that with a little lighter volume. A lot of times, if you're making highs, you don't break out the bottoms. And probably one of the cruelest things, as Tom O'Brien calls it, devious markets, is how many times these markets will give you an opportunity to sell and people won't. And it doesn't always mean that that's the top. But after about the third or fourth time, no one can think about selling. They just can't. That's exactly the way the market works. We were talking last week about where you're at in the markets, and this chart from Jean-Pierre, French dude, and I'll remember his name here in a little bit, about a return to normal. And I just don't know if we've got that before Christmas. Certainly, you would think with the movement we've had here that it would be certainly very bullish, at least going into the end of the year. Question is, do we get into something yesterday where everybody's bullish, there are no bears, and something really bad, not just the ham sandwich of the end of last week that they're all backing over each other on and doing their best Rosanna Dana impression of never mind now. Well, actually, the data so far shows it's better than Delta. So things actually, we got a better mutation this time, not a worse one. And so, I don't know, but generally from that bull trap to the return to the normal is extremely light volume. And yesterday, sort of okay, but you look at the advanced decline line, still pretty horrific for the NASDAQ for a day where you've moved that well. So the question is, are we just getting the return to normal before we have real fear, capitulation, and despair to get this thing back to the mean where we start all over again and go higher? Give me a call, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put a message in the den. So we got about 2.5 minutes left. I know I've got some emails. Let's go to the emails because I got mail, baby.
You've got mail, baby, yeah.
Okay, so what do we have? Okay. Al says, the holy garbage fed V-shaped bottom again is blowing. Joke will end bad for the bulls. What do you think? Well, I'm not going to predict that yet, but I am going to say we're in that pattern for the bull trap, and that is exactly what I look for, and probably why that double repo pattern to me is the most important one, because that's really what you're looking at there. You get the return back to the mean, and we've got some fairly high reversals possible if they're just back to the mean, which doesn't mean that they're done. Just means that generally the big excess, the foray into euphoria has come and gone, and we're back to looking at what valuations are really in the market. James says, great call on Friday, Monday bottom, looking to possibly short ARC and QQQs as a hedge for my overall long portfolio. It's the two 90% down volume days last week have 10-20% corrections. What point would be a good place to short ARC or the QQQs? As I said at the beginning, what I'm going to be looking for, and why, and what I would need to get short on any of these is we've got all these days higher. We've got some closes lower. QQQ is not a little easier, but it's back above with the gap higher. Any close back below the 3x3. So, if you want to look at this as a 9-day, to go back to traditional moving average, not that much difference. But if you look at any of these with that kind of pattern, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for maybe not much higher than 400 on the Qs, 401, and then a pull back underneath the next time. And, that's when you get the real destruction. So you don't anticipate it, but you have to kind of wait for it. We'll be back in a
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month, and try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TESS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TESS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TESS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
On this day, we had some real history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
Well, as a young man, my backyard was Pearl Harbor until I was about 10 years old. And I grew up watching planes come in and land. A lot of them shot up coming off carriers, coming back from Vietnam. But as a kid, you could ride your bikes almost anywhere on the airbase. They didn't really say much on it. We put our fingers in the bullet holes that are still there in the hangars from World War II that are still there. And, of course, didn't know it at the time, but they cut the superstructure off of the Arizona and put it behind a fence. There's nothing like playing ships for a 6 or 7 or 8-year-old. And of course, we'd climb underneath the fence and go and do it, not knowing the sacrilege that we were doing. I think they cut the superstructure off in 1963. But it was one of the biggest events of all time. We've had ours kind of in our 9/11 for our generation. But, you get complacent, just like the stock market, and it seems to come when you don't expect it. And I've had a lot of people emailing me today about what the percentages are on an invasion of the Ukraine by Russia or in Taiwan by China. And I'm going to say that they're not nil, which is probably a good way to look at it. Just be very careful. As I said before, especially when we're looking at the way these things are moving, the risk becomes almost infinitesimal compared to the risk of owning an equity. If you want to be long, I don't have any problem with that, but boy, with the price of options, especially call options, if you really want to stay long, covered calls, covered puts, there's a lot of ways to go after this market. I would make sure, though, that you didn't get caught in the big one. And you never know when it's going to come. No one told me about 9/11. No one said anything. I actually had some positions that I took off because I couldn't make it back home. And thank God I did. I had about 20 grand in options positions that would have gone to zero that Monday when I was trying to get back and couldn't make it. But you never know when those big events are going to happen, whether it's a bankruptcy from Lehman Brothers. Just know that things happen. And generally those things happen when the markets are the most strained, and they are incredibly strained. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Man, the radar. Okay. Yeah. Who knows how they're going to do it. But my guess is that if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. They're going to do it together. I'm sure they've been talking. You can have Ukraine if we can have Taiwan back. If we do it both at the same time, nobody's really set up for it. They're all still hiding from COVID, much less us. So you don't have to look at it. Speaking of the Chi-Coms, I wanted to get to Apple. I was just, somebody brought it up, I think on like Friday last week. And that was IBM's involvement in the Holocaust, which is well documented. And, a lot of people will sell their souls for another few sales. Certainly, Apple made a $275 billion deal with China to continue selling it in there. No one knows exactly what's in that deal. What I have to say today, though, is it's not a blowout for a gap higher, not the blowout volume in Apple that you think it might be. Got to 171.58. But I suspect a lot of companies like Apple, Nike, and others are making deals with people that are involved in a known genocide. They try to avoid it, ignore it. But as my mom said, you get into bed with a dog, you're going to get fleas. I don't see a whole lot different from World War II and the pain and agony that IBM went through almost through the mid-50s before the reputation came back in thing. And it's almost kind of ghastly that we have Watson as their big flagship product, when that was the guy that was helping out the Nazis take care of all the tabulation of how many Jews they could kill. And they all knew it. So just be careful when you're looking at companies that could have huge what would they call it? Huge, not representation. I'll think of it in a minute. Yeah, it was that. Okay. 877-927-6648. And we have some more emails here. Okay. What do you think of NVIDIA? Like I said, NVIDIA, all these companies, I wouldn't be short it. I'm just going to say that these are the canaries in the coal mine. If these things go back below, probably before Christmas, go back under, there is some real hell to pay. My guess is on NVIDIA, like I said, every day, it's not a company that I want to think about being short. There are a lot of companies with bigger problems out here than NVIDIA that could sell 4 times what they could. Same thing with AMD. One of the reasons why everybody goes back to them. They may have huge PEs, which will be a problem if something bigger comes up. But AMD is not back in and above that 3x3 line yet. Figure that could be a couple of days, but you never know what's going to happen. We got some new moons coming up in the next few days. My guess is that if any of these whaleward regimes like Putin or Xi in China are going to do something, it will be in the dead of night on a moonless night. So just keep an eye on it. I think we got a couple more days. If we get past that, I think a lot of people are going to think a lot better. I'm putting it the chance at 5%, so not huge. But take 50% hit if you're wrong. So options are the way. Back in
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we return, question about Tesla. It's in a sell mode as long as it stays underneath the 3x3 displaced average or 9-day moving average, which is about another $10-15 about where it's above where it's trading right now. So you have no signal, but if you wanted to pull the trigger again, it hits that area, you might. You do have a slightly lower test down here at 950. I suspect that a lot of the other companies that are now coming online, like Rivian and Ford, and others are really going to eat into this, along with the story as it starts to dissolve about Tesla building big semi-trucks and the rest. There's some business in there. Tesla does have a bit of a lead, but I don't think it's insurmountable, as far as I know. Question about Netflix, also about my discussions yesterday. I think it's just at resistance. I think this is one of the weaker ones. And I think it's for sale mostly on problems with production and why they're fairly good at voiceovers and foreign language dubs of both foreign and domestic videos, probably the best. They're going to have continued problems with production over the next 6 months. That doesn't look good. Take a look and see what Disney's doing. Of course, this one's took the big brunt. It's back over for the time being, but I don't think there's that much to this. Maybe you could get back up to 155, 157 on it, but I think that's pretty much where the big bounce is. Intel's selling out its mobile car division, Mobileye. It did have a nice bounce today, gave most of it back. Support probably comes in now at about 52.50. I think it's going to take a lot more time to consolidate out the wins and make sure that they aren't doing it or continue to do the stupid stuff that they have over the last 3 or 4 years. Although they do have a CEO that's starting to make me feel a little bit better. I don't think that he has the juice to push everybody out of the way, but we shall see. 877-927-6648. Intel most likely has made a low, so I'm not worried about that. It's just how much upside there is to Intel. $5 move off the lows, $6 move off the lows here the last week. Good signal. They're getting into both AMD's and NVIDIA's business of video cards, and maybe that'll actually help out the rest of the market, taking care of some of the lower-ended video card business. Actually, the results on those video cards are actually pretty good. You still need drivers for them, and that's going to take a while to get done for Intel. But not a bad day. And, of course, if it was really Mobileye was really that good, would you spin it off? Or do you just think this is a great time to get into that part of the business and get some cash and maybe do something else with it at Intel? I do not hear anything else they have to say quite yet. Okay, let's go back and look at some of these others. Okay. Got another question. AT&T. I just don't understand why AT&T T-shirt here. I don't know why you'd be involved in this. They're continuing to try to sell CNN, and that's a millstone around their neck. They've got CNN, which is a real problem with viewership at about 20% of what it was a year ago. They're not the only ones, though. I mean, all these properties they got involved with are worth fractions, pennies on the dollar that they used to have. Cable, there's only a couple of stations on all of cable that have any kind of viewership that's worth speaking about. And I don't know why you'd want to be in that or anything that AT&T touches. It just seems to me like they're in every bad business going forward. Could you get a little bit of a bounce? You probably could. But I think this one just is one of these companies that's going to have to sell a few of these things off. And even then, like I said, selling them on pennies for the dollar of what they were worth a couple of years ago and didn't get the deal done. Okay. Question. Any thoughts on Weird Wally Wednesday, I think, is the question here. And that is options Delta Neutral Day tomorrow. For people that are new to the show, options, the monthly options are priced a little bit better than the rest of options. And that is because they have somewhere between 30 and 90 days of premium decay before they get into the expiration. But once it basically fell out of the Black-Scholes formula for options pricing. Once they get into within 7 days, the idea is that the risk is too great for anybody to hang on to those, and you tend to turn all those into covered calls or covered puts, so that no matter what happens, the only thing that can happen is that the premium decay goes away and you end up cleaning up. But they really want to make sure that that whatever happens, they're not going to get blown out. So they go to a couple of things. One, they get synthetic positions to reduce the exposure to little or none. They sell to both sides. So if they had a bunch of puts out, they'll get a similar number of calls on the other side. So all they have to worry about is the premium. They don't have a lot of the actual movement to worry about. And with premiums, the VIX is back, well, let's go ahead before I shoot my mouth off and actually bring up that. Okay. Yeah, you're still in the 22s. I mean, it's kind of high, but I think a better story here for the real cost is the UVXY down 16% today. So, yeah, if you are adventurous, in fact, there's an old saying in flying, and there are old pilots and there are old bold pilots, but there are a few old bold pilots. So the idea of going after a put up here does intrigue me after the huge move. My guess is it would probably be a one-day thing without a big news item, and that is probably unpredictable. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
And we've got Hector asking, AMD pulled back into heavy volume on light volume and tested, rejected the price and volume. Isn't that extremely bullish? Well, it probably would be if it doesn't have this huge problem with all these 25 days of going higher. As I said, this is where it can be. I had a thought. It was the Apocalypse Now. Where they're on the beach, and Kilgore is talking about how the waves break both ways. See, you can see they broke. You don't know which way they're going to break, and that's why I'm saying the confirmation would be a move back above that. And if you want to hold it, that's fine. The next move below, you want to be out, because this thing's either going to continue to move higher through the end of the year. If it breaks back down through the trend line at all, you're going to have a giant candle and a lot of volume. And there's a lot of reasons why that could happen. None of them have to come true. I'm just saying you want to watch these. They are the canary in the coal mine. I still think if these guys get a sniffle, then many other tech names and especially in hardware can get Ebola. These things are nowhere close to the highs they had before, why the indexes are, and that's always problematic. Secondly, even these companies being good, a lot of what we've seen in the last week was sector rotation. Typically, over the last 200 years, companies have outperformed the indexes or the general market 3 years in a row. And then they have a couple of years. It's kind of, making sure that you, almost the biblical thing where you want to put some of your grain away for the bad times. And, of course, some people didn't do it. I'm trying to remember who that was. It was Joseph, wasn't it? My misspent youth in Sunday school. But certainly you want to look at that where if these guys come back down, like I said, all these guys can sell a lot more than they could ever sell if they could just make it, if they could get the parts, if they could get the manufacturing. So they're not my choice go-tos. But a lot of these companies have already broken. And when you think of companies like Tesla and AMD and NVIDIA, you're going to have some consolidations after these things broke off the highs. Generally, they just don't race right back up to the highs. Now, you can bet on that and sit on your hands as long as when this thing breaks above that 3x3, you have a big candle and lots of volume. You don't want this thing creeping higher into the end of the year. And then maybe with a bad day, maybe some bad news, maybe international stuff. There's always, like I said, a small, I'm going to say 5%, but not a no percent chance that China tries to invade Taiwan. And that's going to be every moonless night from now till eternity. And, I'm actually saying that it's probably maybe 6 or 7% because they think that other people think that they won't do anything with the Olympics coming. These guys are the kind of guys that play chess in 3 dimensions like Spock on Star Trek. And they would go, I think they think that. And they think that we think that we think that. And they think that we think that they think that we think that. I mean, that kind of circular logic goes into it. But you know what? Certainly we've got a president with some significantly low approval numbers. And, what is Russia going to do if we put are they really going to care that much if we put some restrictions on their economy? They'll have all of either Ukraine, and eventually somebody will come along and we'll just make nice again. So, like I said, a lot of those things you can have some fairly huge moves. I'm not saying what's right or wrong or what action we should take. Just if you're in the shoes of some foreign despots, of people that are killers, and in Chinese communists, genocidal killers, you have to think like they do, and you have to know that it's a problem. Like I said, if you're going to trade, a lot of people said I was nuts when we were talking about Alibaba and the rest a few months ago, 3 months ago, and you've seen what happened to those. If you need to be long these things, options are a way of getting into it, taking that risk, and limiting it so you don't wake up with a stock that's down 30 or 40%, even if it's only 5%. 877-927-6648. What else do we have here? I think we got some more. Okay. Okay, so what's going on with the TLT? Well, the Fed shoved as much money in there as you could. We've got money leaving China, and I was trying to do my best impression of they're coming to America on a ship and on a plane. That cash is leaving China, headed to America. I'm sure that was horrible. It sounded better in my headphones. But certainly Neil Diamond singing Our Cash is Coming to America. We had kind of a perfect storm. We kind of talked about it the last couple of days of cash leaving places that people are worried about, like Russia and China, coming to areas where they think it might be treated better, at least temporarily. Parking it in the bonds, so we got up to 155 in the TLT. Now that cash is coming in, coming out of the bond market and back into the equity markets. So we've got to keep a very close eye. No, please. Oh, you want more? Is that what it is? You want more? On a ship and on a plane. Okay. He's a cool dude. Every time I've seen him, he was always talking like some kind of 1960s dude. I've run into him a couple of times, and he's always going, "Hey, you crazy cat." Neil Diamond, that is. He has no idea who I am. I'm just, for a variety of reasons, bumped into him when I worked in the 90s out in California. Okay. Take a look. Question about Amazon. Not as bad. You just don't really have the movement, but you are back above that. But again, back above this nice gap higher. We should be having somewhere around 4 million shares in the day so far. We have 2.2 is problematic. You're going into a 5.7 million share day. back for the 18th. Is that the end of the world? No, but problematic nonetheless.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value, buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we wrap up the show for another excellent day, we're up 96 on the S&P cash. To Dow's up 516, Nasdaq's up 469, Russell's up 65, crude oil's up to $2.46, gold up $5.60, to the 10-year bond up 4 cents, 4.5 cents. And a couple more emails here for the end of the day. Do I really think that this guy that was down in Miami is really the inventor of Bitcoin? He's got $40 billion in Bitcoin as the founder. So I think we're going to know whether he is, if he sells any of it. Now that he's won the court case, he's got to sell some of it to give $100 million to one of his partners. And apparently he's made the deal and settled. So somewhere this guy's going to find $100 million. And my guess is that it is because he probably truly was at least part of a cabal that started Bitcoin, if not the whole thing. And since he's the only one out of the 3 that were left alive, even the guy, even the $100 million is going to the company since that guy died down there in Miami. I think the answer is, well, we have to just assume he is. He says he's got the proof. I don't know exactly what that means, but Nakamoto, man, it sounds like we found the guy. And of course, with $40 billion worth of Bitcoin, he could put a little bit of hurt if he goes to sell a lot of it. Don't know exactly how much cash is going in and out of on a daily basis, but he's got the go-ahead now. I would say that maybe for a while, I'd be a seller every day if I was him. $1 million here, $1 million there. Soon you're talking about real money. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. Cover your shorts when you can, not when you have to.